Good afternoon, everyone. Let us keep you company in the next hour as we bring you the day's latest stories. I'm Denise Tam.
Ako naman po si Lord de Vera. Masaya na sa Seco Sana. Wala naman kasing pambili ng mga bagay tulad ng mga mamahaling Balenciaga. Kaya hindi na kailangan ng check sa style ng life. Simple lang kami dito sa Afternoon Delight. Yan na.
Ano?
The last Thursday of
Oo nga.
August.
Oo, August 28. And by the end of the week, by the start of next week ay Setyembre na. Napakabilis.
Ganun na.
Yung leeg dapat sinestretch din. Yun ang unang nakikita eh.
Leeg ba?
Di ba silip nga
Yung
ganun?
uli kong naalala.
Ay, ulo pala, ulo, sorry.
Uli ko naalala mga stretching, yung parang tatakbo sa marathon.
Ako lagi ko kasi nakikita yung parang nakasilip sa wall. Okay, so kamusta ang linggo? Linggo mo, partner, so far?
Dami nangyari.
Daming nangyari.
Ang daming pag-uusapan. Pero sinisigurado ko sa inyo to, next week, iba na naman pag-uusapan natin. Makakalimutan lahat.
Every week, parang iba ang storya. At may mga, wag naman sana, pero parang may mga natatabunan na importanteng issues na hindi na masyadong napapag-usapan.
Lalong-lalo na pag natabunan ng baha. Diba? All the best laid plans of mice and men, ika nga. Pag nagkabagyo, pag nagkabaha, kahit gaano kainit yung isang issue, pag nagkabaha, ibang usapan na naman yan.
Wag naman sana,
May fundraising, ganyan. Tapos may mga hashtag, may mga campaigns para tulong tayo, para relief efforts, investigation, iikot lang yan. Tapos kalimot. Tapos bagyo ulit.
Tapos bagyo ulit. Nako.
Yep.
Pero wag naman sana, dahil syempre marami sa ating mga kapatid, mga kababayan, hanggang ngayon, akala nyo medyo matagal na yung bagyo, pero hanggang ngayon sumusubok pa rin bumawi at rebuilding their home. So,
bakit kaya tayo ganun?
Ano?
No? Parang may maigsi palagi yung alaala natin.
I think it's because we're trained that we have to move on quickly dahil tuloy-tuloy ang buhay eh.
Hindi pwede ganun.
Ano yan necessity kasi syempre, 'di ba? Gusto mo man sana magpahinga o magmuni-muni syempre kailangan mo pa rin pumasok kahit lubog ang iyong bahay, minsan wala ka namang choice dahil kailangan mo ng pera pang araw-araw na pagkain.
Para namang bibigyan ka ng pera ng mga kontraktor na maraming pera.
Ayun.
Para namang isasakay ka sa mga private jet nila.
Nililista pa nila yung mga suot nila. Ano ka ba?
Grabe, no?
Oo.
Ano kayang feeling kung yung isang masaya na sa makakatanggap lang siya ng 4,000 piso para may pambili ng pang-ulam o pamasahe?
Yung iba, mas maliit pa dyan. Mas maliit pa dyan talagang tuwang-tuwa na doon laking tulong sa kanilang mga pamilya. Pero pag nakita nyo yung mga post online, isang bota pa lang, parang ilang buwang sweldo na, isang taong sweldo na sa ilan, ano?
Aanihin mo yung Balenciaga kung mukha ka namang plancha.
Grabe ba? Poetic! Poetic ha? Gusto ko yun ha? Okay, sige. Medyo na-stun ako doon. We are watching, as mentioned, several stories today. At isa na riyan,
yan ang sinasabi natin.
Yung Tropical Depression Jacinto. Oo, parang nung isang linggo lang, si Isang yung pinag-uusapan natin. Ngayon naman...
Diba? Sunod-sunod, ano?
Oo.
Sunod-sunod, ang mga nadadali, hindi Metro Manila. Although nadali Maynila last week. At ibang usapan yon. Ngayon, tingnan natin kasi every time na babaha ngayon, nagkaroon na kasi ng mukha. No? Nagkaroon na ng mukha na target ng galit ng tao. At yung mga mukhang ngayon, ang tanong kung mapa-follow up ba, kung mas malilinawan pa ba, mga pangalan, mga tao behind these very controversial projects, isa-isa ng napapangalanan, ang tanong kung madadagdagan pa ba ito?
Ako, ang tanong mahahatulan ba?
Yan.
'Di ba? Iba yung mapangalanan lang pero mapangalanan, magkakalimutan, nasa na yung accountability?
Oo, pero
kanino na?
Sabi nila nagre-respond daw ang Pinoy sa dalawang bagay. Bodily pain, tsaka shame. Hiya. Pero yung iba kasi wala nang hiya
Abangan natin kung meron yan. Ano? Kasi hindi pwede yung bodily pain Oo.
Nagbago na nga ang
Nagbago na
Hindi na
mundo.
sila tinatablan.
Ganon? Okay, sige. Umpisahan na natin ang ating balitaan for today. Again, on to the headlines. At this hour, General Nicolas Torre III has spoken up the day after he was unceremoniously booted out as PNP chief. Here's the story.
Days after the Malacanang announced the relief of Nicolas Torre III, the former PNP chief first showed himself in the House of Representatives Wednesday afternoon. Torre visited the office of the Mamamayang Liberal Party List Representative Laila de Lima on the day of her birthday, August 27. Though he did not disclose their conversation, the act was a reciprocation of good deed after the congresswoman questioned his relief from the post. He even jokes about being a food delivery rider as he presented himself in the lower chamber.
When I was the chief PNP, Congressman de Lima was among the first visitors in my office. Nakita niyo naman yun, we published it. She visited me and we talk about things. So sa ngayon, I just reciprocated the gesture.
He adds that there is no bad blood with Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla. More so, he does not feel any bitterness against the president and his decision to immediately relieve him as the Philippine National Police Chief. The police general clears out all negative allegations as he says,
I'm telling you, simula kahit nakahapon sa official statement ni Secretary John Vic, di ba? May nasira ba? Wala naman ah. It's all the president's choice, ang sabi niya. Which I support it. Look at me straight in the eye. Do I look like somebody who is bitter? I've been an officer for more than 30 years. This is not the first time that this happened in my career. Okay? And it happened. Time and again, pabalik-balik yan. And, I just came back, bounced back, and do something again.
Torre also recognizes his position as a policeman despite the circumstances. He assures that he will continue serving the country and the government while everyone awaits his new appointment as announced by the Office of the President.
Up to this moment, there's no turnover to speak of. Ang relief ko is for the appointment. I have to still get guidance whether I'm fired from the PNP so that I will lose my 4-star general. And that's quite a different thing.
Torre also shares that he had already left the PNP headquarters after the relief announcement. He mentions that he knew this may happen since being the police chief officer is just a temporary position. Moving forward, the former PNP chief submitted his leave of absence, only his second time in his career as a police officer. His LOA, however, is still awaiting for the approval of the new PNP chief.
And I'm planning to use the maximum leave authorized, yung my vacation leave, my service leave. Obviously, I need the time. I need the time off. So, I need the time off also to answer reporters.
General Jose Nartates Jr. has been named as the new PNP chief after Torre's tenure, and Torre says he is open to help the new chief if needed.
Of course, of course. You just have to ask and I can give it to him kung ano man. Pulis pa nga rin ako sabi ko sa inyo.
Torre served 85 days as the PNP chief under the administration of President Bongbong Marcos. Mobile journalist Amy Atienza, we are One News.
Meantime, President Marcos has ordered a lifestyle check on all government officials and agencies amid alleged corruption in flood control projects.
Ipinag-utos ni Pangulong Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ang pagkakaroon ng lifestyle check sa lahat ng mga opisyal sa gitna ng investigasyon patungkol sa maanumalyang flood control projects.
DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan had earlier denied any involvement in the controversial dealings. But in a statement, Senator Ping Lacson says the DPWH has become playground for criminal syndicates with mafia-like activities in engineering offices across the country. He claims to have also received information of irregularities up to the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or the PCAB. But Yusek Castro addressed Lacson's remarks.
Kung yan po ang pananaw ni Senator Lacson, tandaan po natin hindi naman po lahat ng tao sa DPWH ay maaaring involved. At katulad ng ginagawa po ng Pangulong Marcos Jr., pinapaimbestigahan niya po lahat para po malinis at maiayos kung ano po ang naging pagkakamali sa mga maanumalyang flood control projects. Walang sisinuhin, walang malapit sa puso, walang kaalyado, kung sino man ang involved dito, sasampahan ng kaso.
Several cabinet secretaries have welcomed the president's order for a lifestyle check.
We are open and we welcome the yung lifestyle check.
It's the right thing to do. Tama yun. For the entire government. I think it's very important.
Alam mo ngayon, sa social media, wala ka nang pwede itago eh. So, lahat lang naman yan, pwede na makita sa social media. Di ba?
One who is not impressed, however, with the Marcos administration's lifestyle check, acting Davao City Mayor Baste Duterte. In an interview in The Hague, he called out the president's investigation as a mere public relations stunt. The palace clapped back at the younger Duterte.
Kasi ginagawa niyang press release yan ngayon eh. PR stunt niya. Kung serious talaga siya, sabi niya na, 'di ba? Alam niya, may tinuro na siya, may mga pangalan ng mga kumpanya ng contractors na in-expose niya, then why not file a case? Kung talagang gusto mo ipakita sa tao, okay, you want to redeem yourself, sige, pakulong ka dyan.
Nasaan po siya ngayon?
Nasa the Netherlands.
Wala po sa Davao City. Okay. Kung sinasabi niya po na ito'y PR stunt, manood na lamang po siya.
The House of Representatives has begun the 2026 budget review with civil society organizations. For the latest, we have mobile journalist Amy Atienza. Amy?
Yes, good afternoon, Lord Denise. Nandito nga tayo ngayon sa House of Representatives and nagsimula na nga ang kauna-unahang People's Budget Review ngayong araw. At kanina narinig na rin natin ang magiging sistema nga rito ay magkakaroon nga daw ng presentasyon ng mga civil society organizations na accredited ng House of Representatives. At matapos niyan ay magkakaroon naman sila ng diskusyon kasama sina House Appropriations Committee Chairperson Mika Suwansing. At kanina rin sa mga presentation nga na isinagawa, narinig na natin ang ilang mga civil society organizations na nagbibigay ng importansya sa education. At yun nga yung gusto din nilang parang bigyang focus, no? Kasi kahit nasa around 1.2 trillion pesos na raw yung budget ng education sa ipiniresentang 2026 NEP, medyo kulang pa rin daw kasi ito dahil may nakikita pa rin tayong kakulangan sa mga programa para sa mga estudyante, tulad na nga lang nung pagbaba din ng budget sa mga material na ginagamit ng mga estudyante, lalo na sa mga pampublikong paaralan. At bukod pa dyan, no, aabangan din natin kung meron nga ba tayong makikita rin na pag-uusapan patungkol nga sa transport system ng Pilipinas, dahil nga isa rin yan sa mga gustong talakayin at yan din yung mga advocacy ng mga accredited civil society organizations dito.
Amy, did they specify kung saan nila nakita yung mga lapses in terms of yun nga, doon sa pagbaba ng budget, ano yung kulang, and exactly what they want to happen at saan nila gusto pang makita yung improvement?
Well, ito yung mga isa nga sa mga sinasabi kanina dito, kaya nga daw in-invite tong mga civil society organizations dahil nga sila daw yung may first-hand or on-ground experience sa mga challenges nga na kinakaharap ng mga sektor dito sa Pilipinas, no. At yun nga, isa nga sa mga nabanggit, kakulangan nga daw sa mga libro. Ito yung specific na sinabi rin dito. Kulang daw kasi yung mga libro na ginagamit sa mga pampublikong paaralan, and nakita nila sa datos na binigay din sa kanila for the 2026 for fiscal year 2026 na from 12 billion pesos naging 11 billion pesos na lang daw yung binigay na budget for materials like these. So nahihirapan sila at gusto nga nila na mas mataasan pa sana ito para nga mas maraming material ang magamit ng mga estudyante, lalo na inaasahan din natin at nag-expect din sila ng programs para dun sa mga out-of-school youth naman. And yun nga, gusto nilang maresolba ito sa pamamagitan ng pag-urge nga dito sa Kamara na mataasan pa mismo yung budget sa pagbibigay ng mga material.
Well, all right. Thank you very much. Again, that was Amy Atienza, our mobile journalist, reporting from the House of Representatives. Thank you, Amy.
And it's now time to take our first break. And as we do so, we bring you the global headlines from the Associated Press. At magbabalik po ang Afternoon Delight.
This is AP News Minute. A shooter opened fire at the Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis, killing 2 children and injuring 17 others before killing himself. Authorities said the shooter, armed with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol, shot at children sitting in pews. The Trump administration takes control of Washington's Union Station, marking another federal intervention. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced the move during the launch of the next-gen Acela high-speed train. Israeli and U.S. officials are in Washington to discuss post-war Gaza, as Israel's military called the evacuation of Gaza City inevitable ahead of a new offensive. The meeting follows outrage over strikes on a southern Gaza hospital. The FDA approved updated COVID-19 shots for many Americans and removed one of the 2 vaccines for children. The shots are approved for all seniors, but limits use for younger adults and children to those with at least one high-risk health condition.
And this is Afternoon Delight on One News. Ako pa rin po si Lourdes Vera.
At ako naman po, si Denise Tan. Magandang hapon pong muli.
Alright, in the news, authorities confirm that none of the DNA samples from the bones recovered in Taal Lake have matched with the families of the missing sabongero so far. These details from Mobile Journal, Arles de los Santos.
Almost 50 days since the Philippine Coast Guard started conducting technical dives in Taal Lake to search for the 34 missing sabongeros, 401 skeletal bones have been found, with 355 confirmed to be of humans. As per Assistant Secretary Eliseo Cruz of the Department of Justice, the bones are recovered inside a number of sacks that are usually tied to or attached to sacks of sand that serve as sinkers, with each sinker sandbag is of the size of a 25-kilogram rice sacks. These findings were unwrapped in the House Committee on Human Rights hearing led by Manila 6th District Representative Benny Abante.
We recovered 401 bones. So,
Are they human bone?
Yes, sir. Yung human bones na. Then, out of those items, sir, there are a total of 163 samples were subjected to DNA. Then, the rest po nun, sir, ay hindi na po dahil nag-deteriorate na po. Wala na pong ano.
How many are related to the missing sabongeros according to the DNA?
Wala pa pong nag-match.
Wala pa.
Opo, doon sa mga samples na nakuha namin sa mga relatives ng mga missing sabongeros po.
It can be recalled that the ongoing search in Taal Lake started when the whistleblower and co-accused Julie Dondon Patidongan claimed that the victims were already buried in the lake. The Philippine Coast Guard also shared environmental hazards that they encountered while conducting the search, including the high fecal coliform in the waters of Taal that can bring respiratory and skill-related illnesses to the divers, made worse by the possible harm brought by Taal sea snake, whose antivenom is unavailable in the country. DOJ also voiced a challenge in the ongoing DNA matching with the families of the 34 missing sabongeros.
Kasi po, when we compare DNA samples from the relatives, hindi po kasi lahat ng mga kamag-anak ng mga nawawalang sabongero ay nakipag-cooperate. Meron po kasing mga kamag-anak ng mga missing sabongeros ang napabalitang nagpabayad na. Kaya hindi po lahat ng mga relatives na kinakailangan namin.
Ibig sabihin nagbabayad na? Nagbabayad, binayaran
Opo.
na.
Yun po ang balita namin.
With the human bones found not matching to any of the initial 29 families of the 34 missing sabongeros, ACT Teachers Representative Antonio Tino asked what the duty bearers of the law will do with this finding, with the latter assuring the committee that no stone will remain unturned. Mobile Journal, Arles de los Santos. We are One News.
Here now is a quick rundown of more stories on One News. The low-pressure area over the West Philippine Sea west of Subic Bay has developed into Tropical Depression Jacinto. It may exit the Philippine area of responsibility tonight before intensifying into a tropical storm tomorrow evening. Jacinto and the southwest monsoon or habagat will bring rains over most parts of the country. San Mateo Mayor Bartolome Rivera Jr. slammed the MMDA and the City of Manila for the plan to transfer waste to the local landfill without prior consultation. San Mateo officials earlier opposed the move, citing capacity, traffic, and health risks. The MMDA, however, insisted the site meets DENR standards and has enough space. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno said the transfer had long been planned since the Navotas landfill should have closed 2 years ago. The Judicial and Bar Council has begun public interviews today for candidates seeking the position of ombudsman following the retirement of Samuel Martirez. Michael Aguinaldo, Romeo Benitez, and Johnny Croce Vestido are among the first to be interviewed. As per the JBC's list, there are 17 applicants for the post, including Justice Secretary Boying Remulla. Interviews will run until September 2, with recordings only for release after all sessions are completed. The campaign period for the first Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao parliamentary elections has begun. About 2.3 million voters are expected to elect 73 of the 80 parliamentary seats on October 13. The Commission on Elections has imposed strict campaign rules, including bans on donations, new government hires, and the use of confidential agents. The Duterte siblings recently visited their father, former President Rodrigo Duterte, at the International Criminal Court Detention Facility in The Hague, Netherlands. These are Davao City 1st District Representative Paulo Duterte, Vice President Sara Duterte, Acting Davao City Mayor Baste, and Kitty Duterte. Representative Duterte expressed hope that their family will one day be complete again. And Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong shared a photo on Facebook of his recent encounter with late 4th District Representative Richard Gomez at a public event. His caption reads, "Despite the noise and accusations, true friendship remains." Recall that Gomez issued a cryptic message urging a so-called clean mayor to fix his own city first before accusing lawmakers of being involved in corruption and flood control projects.
Meantime, Senator Ping Lacson claims some contractors pay up to 2 million pesos to the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board just to corner state projects. Here is the report.
Senator Ping Lacson has dismissed Public Works Secretary Manuel Bonoan's claim that ghost flood control projects in Bulacan are isolated cases. Lacson said similar projects exist in other areas, including Nauhan in Oriental Mindoro, and warned that the Department of Public Works and Highways has become a playground of syndicates.
I don't know how high up yung syndicate, but it seems that the DPWH has become a playground of syndicates.
He also revealed that his office received reports alleging that the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board has been involved in accreditation for sales scheme.
Information keep coming in sa aming opisina na itong pickup nagre-resort na sa accreditation for sale. They had this experience of being offered accreditation by pickup na sila na yung bahala sa bank certificate and other requirements for a fee of, I think, 2 million pesos for a start.
Senate Minority Leader Tito Soto, meanwhile, questioned why flood control projects are being poured into areas that are not flood-prone. Lacson replied that lawmakers' budget insertions are no longer about their constituents' needs, but about billions in contracts benefiting favored suppliers and contractors. He added that even during the preparation of the National Expenditure Program, some DPWH officials were already offering insertions to legislators.
Yung insertions, bisan sometimes nagiging supplier-friendly or contractor-friendly. Hindi na iniisip talaga kung ano yung needs and priorities of their constituents. Halimbawa, nakadeploy yung aking, contractor ako, congressman din ako, nakadeploy yung aking mga equipment sa isang lugar. Yung mobilization nun, pag deploy ko sa ibang lugar, medyo magastos. So doon ako mag-i-insert doon sa lugar na nakadeploy ng equipment ko. Already happening actually, Mr. President. I talked to one official from the DPWH. Nilalako na nila yan Sa NEP pa lang, preparation ng NEP, nag-o-offer na sila sa mga legislators.
To curb abuse, Lacson proposed involving local governments in planning and inspection of projects and urged the identification of legislators behind budget amendments.
Is to identify the proponents of the amendments or insertions. Malaking deterrent po yun. Kasi sa ngayon, malalakas ang loob na mag-insert in the billions or tens of billions of pesos. Kasi alam nila, hindi naman sila ma-identify
Meanwhile, the Central Visayas Regional Development Council held its first ever meeting today after the reorganization that transferred Negros Oriental and Siquijor to the new Negros Island region. And for the details, we have One News Cebu Desk, Dale Israel. Dale, sa Lahog ba yan, Dale?
Mayong hapon, Lord and Denise. Yes, nandito tayo sa ongoing yung ginagawang meeting ng Regional Development Council Central Visayas dito sa Cebu Business Park with top officials nga of Cebu and Bohol or Sub-Bohol. This is the first time that RDC to reconstitute as a body without Negros Oriental and Siquijor province, because these two provinces are already part of the Negros Island region. So what we are doing right now is electing who would be the chairman of the RDC Region 7 among other officers. They need new officers because the other provinces are not part anymore of the RDC in Central Visayas. We have here in attendance our Cebu Governor Pam Baricuatro, Bohol Governor Aris Cementado, and the mayors of the highly urbanized cities, including Nestor Archival of Cebu City, of Mandawi and Lapu-Lapu City, representatives of the mayor. The regional directors of national government line agencies are also here, including the DPWH. The previous chairman was Bohol Governor Aris Cementado. Usually, Lord, the chairman is elected by the body and is confirmed by the president of the Philippines, or it is often that the chairman would be allies of the president. Up for discussion here is actually infrastructure projects to be undertaken by DPWH. What will be we will be clarifying with the director later will be the status and the budget of the Metro Cebu Expressway, which was stopped last year because portions of the road project have collapsed, and residents worry about the dangers to the projects of the project while the construction is still ongoing. Speaking of the projects, Lord, an update on the Tangil Tapon Bridge damage is still being reviewed as of now. According to residents in the area, 6-wheelers are still not allowed to pass by the bridge. What they are doing right now is that passengers from buses had to disembark to cross the bridge, riding tricycles, and they will continue with the bus after the bridge. What happened was that the visible cracks were seen, and they said that the expansion led to the cracks of the bridge. How important is Tangil Tapon Bridge? It is access to Tangil Port and the Batu Port, which is a jump-off or are the jump-off points to the ferry to nearby province of Negros Oriental. Lord?
Okay, so na-identify na ba yung mga contractors dyan o yung mga dapat managot? May investigasyon na bang gumugulong, Dale?
What we know so far, Lord, is that the expansion of the road at the southern tip of Cebu is undertaken by QM Builders, and the investigation is that this Tangil Tapon Bridge was actually built in 1991, and the damage was brought from what the investigators told us, that the damage was brought up by the expansion of the bridge or the road project in the south because of the heavy equipment. That's why visible cracks were already seen at the bridge in Tangil.
QM Builders, Dale, yan ba yung umupo nun sa Senate hearing?
I'm sorry, Lord?
Was that the same person? Was that yung the person who sat in the Senate hearing ng Ginril noon at parang dinepensahan kasi may language barrier yata, sabi ni Senator De La Rosa, if I remember correctly. Siya ba yun?
That's correct, Lord. The point person of QM Builders is the one at the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing in Manila, Lord.
I see. Okay. Yung pinag-uusapan doon naman sa bagong kasama sa Negros Island region, Siquijor and Negros Oriental, anong specific concerns ang mga na-raise dito? Curious ako, no? Pinag-uusapan ba yung tourism dito? Kasi yung Siquijor has been very maingay, matunog lately sa radar ng mga turista.
That's correct, Lord. What was discussed right now is that aside from having a committee on tourism on the RDC, they also created a new committee called the Environment Committee at the RDC, which was not done before. Right now, they made sure that environment laws are implemented or are monitored at the RDC. For example, in the Chocolate Hills and in other areas in Cebu also, Lord.
All right. Maraming salamat sa iyo. Ang ating man in Cebu, One News Cebu Desk, Dale Israel. Thanks, Dale.
At this point, we also give you a quick look at stories from our partners, the Philippine Star and Business World. On the Philippine Star, one of the 3 grade 7 students struck by falling debris in Quezon City has died due to severe head injury. CJ Baldonado and 2 of his schoolmates were walking in front of Atherton Place condominium along Tomas Morato in the afternoon of August 12 when concrete from the building's upper structure fell. The QC government is now investigating the incident and is exploring possible legal action. On Business World, the Securities and Exchange Commission has increased the number of companies that can avail of the one-day company registration process from 33 to 81. The OneSec or one-day submission and electronic registration of companies facility has been opened to more firms including customs brokerage, computer programming, drugstores, radio broadcasting, laundry services, and other industries. For more details of these stories, you can visit the social media pages of the Philippine Star and Business World. Do check out as well the social media platforms of One News PH for the very latest news.
All right, in other news, lawyer Ferdinand Topacio set to file an ethics complaint against Senator Risa Ontiveros. I think that's today, ano? Ano naman kaya ang reaksyon ng senadora dito? Tanungin po natin. Our journo in the Senate, Merimon Reyes. Merimon, okay. Ang reaksyon ng senadora sa kanyang media briefing earlier at magandang hapon sa iyo.
Magandang hapon, Lord Denise. Actually, kabababa lang natin mula sa 5th floor dito sa Senado dahil kadarating lang ng panig nga ni na Attorney Ferdinand Topacio kasama sina former Congressman Jing Paras at Attorney Manuel Luna at ifa-file na nga nila sa Secretary General ng Senado yung kanilang complaint laban dito, ethics complaint laban kaya Senadora Risa Ontiveros. Pero kaninang umaga, nung nakapanayam natin ng Senadora, ang sinabi niya raw, recycled lies, harassment daw, pero sa dinami-rami pa raw ng kailangang asikasuhin ng senadora kasama ang kanyang komite, hindi naman daw sila magpapadistract dito. Bagkus pagka natanggap na nga nila itong complaint, handa naman daw silang basahin ito at saka harapin. Pero kanina doon sa nakita natin dito sa Senado, yung buko doon sa complaint na i-file nila sa SecGen, meron ding flash drive na pinresenta itong grupo nila, Attorney Topacio, na naglalaman daw ito ng mga ebidensya, either videos or photos na nagsusuporta sa kanilang complaint. Ang nilalaman kasi nito, hindi pa natin nasisilip talaga, pero pinaka-core nito is meron daw witness tampering or bribery na ginawa ang senadora. Una, patungkol doon sa mga witness na dumalo sa Senate probe patungkol dito kay KOJC Pastor Apollo Quiboloy. Pero nabanggit na rin dyan, pati pa raw sa ibang mga kaso raw o pagdinig daw ng senadora na maaari nagkaroon din daw ng witness tampering. Yun daw yung magiging laman ng kanilang complaint. Balik sa inyo. Oo, sabi na nga siya. Actually, July pa to no? At may hirit pa nga dati si Attorney Topacio na nag-file supposedly ng cyber libel complaint na you're in my world now. May, parang gano'n, ano? Parang gano'n at parang pumasok ka sa bitag ko. Pero ewan ko ano nangyari dito. At harassment ang sabi ng senadora sa pag-filing ng complaint na ito. At yung laman daw supposedly ng USB na yon ay mga video ba ito? Ano ba, Mary Moon? Oo, ang nabanggit kanina nila Attorney Topacio, may mga video dito na nagsusuporta nga, nagsisilbi itong ebidensya. Pero ang aalamin natin, once na ilabas na ito o kaya kapag karumolyo, kasi ang nais daw nilang gawin, magkaroon din daw ng investigasyon dito sa Senado patungkol nga doon sa sinasabing witness tampering o bribery ni Senadora Risa. And possibly yung lalaman nung flash drive na yon ay yung mga video footages, either nung witnesses na sinasabing binayaran daw ng ₱1,000,000 ng senadora para daw pumunta doon sa mga pagdinig. Ang nasabi sa atin parang around 13 or 30 pages. Lilinawin natin yun kaya Attorney Topacio nilalaman nito kasi hindi na tayo nakalapit sa kanya nung final na nila kanina lang sa SecGen itong kanilang complaint. Pero ang nais daw nila is justice daw dahil nga daw dito sa nakita nilang witness tampering or bribery.
Merimon, may nabanggit ba kung saan nila nakuha yung flash drive? Ay iba-iba ba yung sources nun? O iba-ibang tao ba ang nagbigay? Did they mention anything?
Actually, Denise, tinanong din natin kanina na bago kayo dito, sino pa yung alam nila nga sumusuporta doon sa complaint na ifa-file. Pero hindi nila dinivulge masyado yung mga detalye na yan. Basta ang kanila raw, nag-pursue sila ng kanilang effort para nga i-collect or i-collate itong mga ebidensya para masuportahan yung kanilang ethics complaint. And isa pa sa titingnan din natin kung paano ito ipoproseso ng Senado dahil as of now, hindi pa nagko-concur ang ethics committee. So wala pang chairperson, wala pang members ng komite. Kaya final muna ito sa SecGen, Denise.
Andiyan ba si Senadora Risa? Willing daw siyang harapin eh.
Oo nga, Lord, sana tinignan din natin kung aabangan din ba ng senadora. Pero yung kanyang pressure kasi kanina umaga pa bago mag-noon. Kaya so far ngayon tahimik na dito sa Senado. Even yung ilang mga pagdinig pa ng komite, tapos na rin. Kaya so far, sina Atty. Topacio pa lang yung nakita natin dito. Pero subukan na nating makapanayam itong si Senadora Risa dahil nandito na nga ang complaint laban sa kanya.
Yung ba yung kapihan, may mga sinabi rin siya sa kapihan supposedly na parang conference yan, no? Parang sinusuportahan niya raw supposedly yung panawagan ng Pangulo ng lifestyle checks at naniniwala siya na by virtue of command responsibility na dapat managot din o may pananagutan din kahit paano ang DPWH Secretary.
Yes, Lord. Ang nasabi dito ni Senadora Risa, technically normal naman na daw yung objective check-up na ginagawa na to. And magandang araw na isagawa ang lifestyle check. Lalong-lalo na ayon daw sa batas, sinasabi nga na lahat ng mga namamahala or nasa serbisyo daw ng pamahalaan dapat namumuhay daw ng simple. Pero yun nga, nung nalinaw na itong order ay mula sa executive, so ang nais dito ng senadora, either yung ibang mga sangay pa raw ng gobyerno, even daw ang Kongreso, mag-volunteer na rin daw, mag-take ng initiative na magkaroon ng lifestyle check. And isa pa sa nabanggit din, maganda rin daw na maging ehemplo si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos dito sa utos niya na lifestyle check. At maaari daw simulan niya to sa pagsasapubliko ng kanyang salin. And nagkaroon pa nga ng mungkahi si Minority Leader Senator Tito Soto na even daw yung mga pamilya isama na rin daw sa lifestyle check. At sabi ni Senadora Risa, maganda raw na mas marami pang mungkahi ang iparating para raw makita kung paano best na gawin ang lifestyle check sa iba pang mga public office.
Oo. Yung mga senador, lifestyle check din nila, pwede rin. Uy, Marymon, papaalam na kami sa'yo pero may ano lang. Try mo nga alamin kung buhay pa yung billboard ni Atty. Topacio. Sa may C5 yata yun, may nakasulat na Mr. Sex Appeal. Ayan, no? Ayaw mo maniwala sa akin.
Sige, Lord, silipin natin yan.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, ang ating mobile journalist, Marymon Reyes. All right. This is still Afternoon Delight on One News. We just need to pause for another break, but we will be right back. Promise.
August 28th, 1963. Martin Luther King Jr. caps a major civil rights march in Washington with a speech for the ages at the Lincoln Memorial.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
1968. In Chicago, police and anti-Vietnam War protesters clash in the streets during the Democratic National Convention. Connecticut Senator Abraham Ribicoff condemns the police for the violence when he nominates a fellow senator for president.
And with George McGovern as President of the United States, we wouldn't have to have Gestapo tactics in the streets of Chicago.
But Vice President Hubert Humphrey is the nominee for the deeply divided Democrats. He narrowly loses to Republican Richard Nixon in the fall. 1955. Emmett Till, a black teenager from Chicago, is abducted from his uncle's home in Money, Mississippi. 2 white men seize Till after he supposedly whistled at a white woman. He's found brutally murdered days later. An all-white jury acquits the men of the crime. They later confess in a magazine interview. And 1996. In London, a royal split becomes final as Britain's Prince Charles and Princess Diana are granted a divorce. Diana is killed in a Paris car crash a year later. Charles marries longtime love Camilla Parker Bowles in the following decade. Today in history, August 28th. Ed Donahue, The Associated Press.
Oye, nagbabalik po ang Afternoon Delight. Magandang Huwebes ng hapon sa inyo lahat. At
Akala ko, yes, yes, yo. Yun yung nasa ano niya eh. Billboard niya.
check up.
Okay, as you can see, our delight of the day is pizza. Walang pinya. Napaka-importante na papapalakpak tong partner ko. Okay, at daanan natin ang ating mga social media stories habang tayo'y nagme-merienda. First one is on One Sports. Alex Ayala suffers error-prone game in US Open loss versus Cristina Bucsa. Napakaganda nung laban ni Alex nung kanyang first game win in the US Open. That was against Denmark's Tozan. Pero unfortunately, dito sa laban niya against Spain, kay Bucsa nga, she committed 21 unforced errors.
Ito yung mas mataas ang ranking niya dito.
Mas mataas, I think by 20, Oo. So siya, she was the favorite coming into this game. Pero yun nga, too many unforced errors. I believe she had the lead in set 1, parang 4-3, pero nagsiso dahil nga she had yung mga unforced errors sa serves, doon sa kanyang mga returns. Unfortunately, hindi niya nakuha ang panalo. But again, Alex Ayala will still be competing on September 8. She will be in Brazil again. In Sao Paulo. Ayan, September at the SP Open in Sao Paulo. Okay, but again, congratulations to Alex Ayala for making every Filipino proud. On to the next one tayo for Alex. And on to the next one story again on the Philippine Star. The headline reads, Gates of España are wide open. UST to usher in UAAP Season 88 with grand rites. Oo.
Mga mason lang
Malapaskuhan daw ang magaganap na UAAP.
Sila bilang host, no?
Yes, oo. So, ang expected daw na attendees is around 25 to 30,000.
Wow.
And kung kayo po ay taga Maynila or you have any idea kung gaano yung Paskuhan, parang ganun daw yung feel, May pa-concert before the actual game, tapos may mass, may concert, and then the opening ceremonies mismo. Tapos yung first game of the basketball game will be held sa Quadricentennial Pavilion. Hindi ko na kasi inabutan.
May apoy-apoy pa.
Oo, may walk. Yung parang ginagawa ng mga new students.
May walk
Oo.
Sa baha ba yan?
Hindi, sa loob ng UST. Ayan tsaka yung mga expect concerts, expect performances.
Bahagi na. Sino nang sila father? Anyway.
Oo. But again, abangan natin yan. The opening, I believe, is on September 19. For now,
on to another story.
On to another story. Busking has become a source of income and expression for street performers. Let's get to know Kate Torres and Eddie Ignacio, who turn their passion for music into a livelihood. Para bigyan ng mukhang balitang yan, Mobile Journal, Ray Vicente.
Iba't iba ang pakay natin sa paglabas sa lansangan. Ang ilan, pinakikita ang kanilang talento at kumikita habang ginagawa ito.
Singing, dancing, instrumental performance, o kaya magic tricks. Ilan lamang yan sa street performances sa tinatawag na busking. Pwede ritong kumita mula sa ibinibigay ng mga tip ng napapadaan. Si Kate Torres, 3 taon nang main source of livelihood ang pagbabusking.
Wedding singer po ako. And then, pandemic came. So, lahat ng mga nakaschedule ko na mga weddings and events, na-stop siya for a while. And then, yung iba, na talaga, as in totally nag-cancel na, gano'n. Nagkaroon ako ng opportunity na makapag-perform ulit, through busking.
Higit 20 taon na niyang kabuhayan ang pagkanta. Kaya kahit sa matataong lugar, kayang-kaya niyang ipakita ang kanyang talento.
Iba yung nasa street ka talaga. So, for me, parang mas na-express ko yung gusto ko, yung sarili ko, kapag nandun ako sa place kung saan ako nagbabusking.
Higit pa raw sa sapat ang natatanggap niya kada busking session. Kailangan lang din ang magandang lokasyon tulad sa BGC sa Taguig.
So, yung establishment is, bibigyan lang nila kami ng place and then permit to perform there. So, walang bayad yun. So, magre-rely lang talaga yung artist sa tips. May place kasi na hindi ganun kadami yung food traffic. So, medyo challenging yun sa busker na kumita. Pero merong place naman na malakas yung food traffic at dami talagang tao.
Isa ring busker si Eddie Ignacio. Ang lokasyon niya naman ay sa isang mall sa monumento sa Caloocan.
Nakakatulong yun, pero hindi naman sapat talaga kagaya ng mga kinikita ko nung araw kaysa ngayon. Kasi sa ngayon, mahirap talaga ang buhay ngayon talaga. Hindi kagaya nung araw talagang libo-libo talaga kinikita ko.
Okay na rin daw ito para may pandagdag sa kita mula sa iba pa niyang trabaho. At kahit kaunti ang naiipon, hindi rin daw niya maiwan-iwan ang pagkanta.
Siyempre, yun talaga ang linya ko. Kung saan tayo kikita, doon tayo.
Dalawa man ang mukha ng istorya ni Eddie at Kate, parehas naging daan ang busking para ipakita ang pagmamahal nila sa musika. Mobile journalist Ray Vicente po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
Question, how do you catch the spirit and the style of Philippine history? May idea dyan ang ating panauhin ngayon na si Paul John Hernandez, ang founder at siya mismo, ang traveling salakot. Welcome to the show, PJ.
Wow, thank you so much.
Hello.
Thank you din
Bago
po.
lahat, bilang magalang na host, baka gusto mo ng pizza.
Ay, wow. Hindi po tayo tatanggi as a Filipino.
Okay, una sa
Or
lahat,
iuwi ko na po ito.
tinatanong ni Denise, okay, ano nga ba ang traveling salakot? Ito ba yung literal na headwear na nagpupunta kung saan-saan? Ito ba ay panggagaya kay Leon Guerrero?
Well, ito po ay parang ating personal branding dahil tayo naman po tagay teacher. I'm a teacher po of history, yan, Philippine culture and heritage. At this, alam naman natin for this generation, the Gen Z, and then papunta ng Gen Alpha, parang history boring, di ba? So parang walang dating. So, nung nag-aaral pa lang po tayo ng college, sabi ko, why not let's make history, di ba, more interesting, but without watering down the most important content. You just need to catch attention. So sabi ko, I think I need a character. So at nakakita ko ng salakot. Ang caricature po ni Juan de la Cruz ay nakasalakot, di ba? Sa mga publication natin before. Kaya sabi ko, gamitin natin to para to create a character. Tapos, I added na it should be traveling. Nung una, puristang Filipino, naglalakbay na salakot. Medyo, para to make it more at least appealing, why not at least Taglish naman, pero still nandun pa din.
Hindi niya nga mapopronounce yun.
Naglalakbay ka sa...
Pero nag-click ba instantly nung nakita mo yung salakot o parang inisip mo pa kagad kung ano yung branding?
Nag-click po
Ano
agad
yung pinipilian mo?
Oo.
Ano po, etong design na to ay sa atin, sa Luzon area. Mostly Central Luzon, kaya ito yung ginamit na natin po. But I collect different ang branding natin, maglakbay kasama ang traveling sa lakot. Ganon.
Si PJ ay maliban sa nagturo ng maraming taon sa isang exclusive high school, ay nagtutour siya, nagsimula siya sa kanyang hometown, sa Bulacan, ano? At doon na-discover niya yung hindi lang pala simpleng pagtutur, pati yung paglaban din para sa heritage ay naging kasama sa kanyang repertoire, ano? At ikaw nagbibigay ng tours din sa National Museum. Nakakuha ka ng grant ng, sabihin na natin na hindi lang salakot ang mabibili doon. Pero may mangyayari din at kinalaman ka dito sa August 31st sa Luneta.
Yes! Kaya bago po yung kumain muna tayo ng pizza.
Yan. Very good. Very good. Styling history. Ito ang event, ito yung fashion show through the centuries at may kinalaman sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas.
Yes po. So, dahil po pinagdiriwang natin ang buwan ng kasaysayan at ang tema po ay kasama ang mga kabataan, we wanted to promote ang ating history through, dahil maganda rin po talaga academic setup, pero we need to have a different strategy to promote ang ating kasaysayan. So sabi
Baka
natin,
naman pang fashion lang yan, yung mga na yan. Sino maaring ma-interest sa mga makikita nila rito?
Yan. So, po siya, collection ng isang ancestral house sa Taal, Batangas, Villa Tortuga. Wow. And one of the oldest costume shops sa Pilipinas, Camp Suki
Camp
po.
Suki.
So talaga makikita po nila from Spanish heritage to American, at ang pinaka-feature po natin ay ang Manila Carnival.
Ay, panalo.
Right? Dahil kung maano po sa kasaysayan, ang grandest at the most awaited event po noon sa Kamaynilaan ay ang Manila Carnival.
Mismo.
Kaya daw ko mahilig tayo sa pageant because it started there.
Pero yung mga interesado, paano ba sila, how can they join that? How can they,
Ayan, so, syempre po, dapat ang mga ganitong gawain ay open to the public, kaya po ito ay free at open sa publiko. Kaya nagpapasalamat po kami sa National Parks Development Committee. Ito po ang ating government agency na nangangalaga ng Rizal Park at Paco Park. So sila po yung ating main partner. Doon po siya gaganapin. So if naalala niyo po, ng mga kabataan ninyo na may concert at the park lagi.
Yes.
So patuloy pa rin po siya. Ay, nakaka-relate siya. So, parang other offerings po siya besides from concert at the park.
Alas 6 ito ng gabi.
Alas 6 ng gabi, kaya sama-sama po tayo sana doon.
Styling history. So, sa tingin mo ba, sa pamamagitan ng mga kasuotan, nakikwento yung kwento ng Pilipinas?
Yes, kasi kailangan ho natin ng tangible, sabi nga nasasalat, na paalala. Right? Kasi kung wala nito lahat, parang paano mo maaalala yung mga importante, yung mga nangyari na nakaraan. So it will bring you back, right, to that era, to that generation. Kaya for sure, pagka may nakita ka ulit na face mask balang araw, ano maalala mo? Nagkaroon ng pandemic noon. So it will surge a lot of memories, and that's your great story.
So mula sa panahon ng mga Espanyol, hanggang sa panahon ng Amerikano, panahon ng Hapon, meron.
Yun within the papuntang Manila Carnival na po yan.
Ayun. Baka akalain nila yung carnival ay yung mga circus.
Oo, baka yun po pala.
Actually, pang carnival queen ang dating.
Yes po. Ayan.
Ang mga
Baka gusto
carnival
nyo
queen
mag-model.
noon ay hindi lang basta maganda. May background din, may breeding from the best families.
Alta de sociedad.
Alta at yung may intellectual
Opo.
kakayahan. Hindi lang simpleng yan. At bahagi ng kasaysayan niya. Sana nga ibalik yun no?
Yun nga po yung, kaya isa din po yun sa goal natin, na dahan-dahan magkaroon ng consciousness muli yung mga Manileño at general public na may ganun tayong tradisyon noon sa Rizal Park, Luneta. So ang goal po natin doon ay makita kasama ng yung pag-indayog ng kasaysayan ng hindi lang ng Pilipinas mula sa lente ng Luneta. Dahil sabi nga nila, birthplace of nationalism ang Luneta. Mga lupang yon, doon nagsimula ang iba't ibang movement. Doon na naging martir ang ating soon to be called national hero, Dr. Jose Rizal. At hanggang ngayon, nandun lahat ng mga movement natin.
Nakaka-excite, Baka gusto mo ng, again, invite everybody on Sunday?
In your best traveling sa lakwat.
Yes, ayan. Siyempre po ang ating pagbati, mabuhay. Right? Ngunit sinasabi din po natin yung isang sa wikang kinaraya, kruhay. Mabuhay, kruhay. Sa lahat po ng mga nanonood ngayon sa Afternoon Delight with Pizza right now, inaanyayahan po namin kayo at buong pamilya this coming Sunday, August 31, sa pagtatapos ng ating buwan ng kasaysayan. Let's celebrate it with glitz and glamour. Right? Let's learn history through our great fashion, right? Couture, at styling history, 6 p.m. po sa Open Air Auditorium. Wala pong bayad, free to the public, free seating, kaya kung mauna kayo, mas maganda ang upuan ninyo. Kita kids!
Salamat, PJ.
Yes,
o sa mga influencers yan, mga interesado sa fashion, baka makita nila na, ay, ginawa na pala dati itong gantong estilo. Di ba? Umiikot-ikot lang yan Anyway, PJ, Paul John Hernandez, ang traveling sa Lakot. Maraming salamat sa oras mo, PJ.
Thank you so much din po to this opportunity, right, for us to promote and to continuously maipalaganap ang napakagandang kwento ng kasaysayan, kultura ng ating bansa.
Thank you for doing this. We're all excited. Pero again, ngayon po ay kailangan na namin magpaalam. That will have to do it for us this Thursday, August 28. Thank you for watching Afternoon Delight. Ako po, si Denise.
Carnival Queen. Join us again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Ako po, si Lourdes Vera. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thanks, PJ.
Thank you.
Facebook.
Buhay.